get going with that. And all right, well, thank you for joining us. Today we have lesson 15 of the geography class. And again, if you have any comments, you're welcome to share them. I'm not going to put the webcam today, probably, because we are going to be watching some videos on the screen, and I don't want that to interfere, to have too many video channels on the site. So yesterday the science class was kind of bumpy with all the issues. We still need to figure out how to do this better. But anyway, so today in geography we are actually going to switch modes, if you wish. All right. So so far we have been looking at the physical geography, okay, and so all the modules that we've done are in the different aspects of physical geography. We had lessons on mathematical geography and the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere, even though we don't have it here as a unit separate. But we you know, last time that when we talk about the different biomes and so on, we were really talking about the biosphere. The biosphere is the living things that are in a country, okay, the geographical features of the vegetation and animal life and so on. Okay, so now we are going to get into another unit, okay, and this unit is going to probably take most of the rest of the year, okay. We'll see how it goes. All right, so Spencer, okay, no problem. So, but here we are going to switch, and we are going to now start the unit on the political geography of Europe, all right? And so we are going to discuss different political geographical issues, such as boundaries, language, population, religion, government, economy, okay, culture, and so on, okay, to prepare to understand more about also political geography. So the main branches, if you wish, of geography would be the mathematical geography, physical geography, and then political geography, okay? And so today what we are going to do is talk about these concepts, okay, about kind of the definition of a country. What is a country, and what constitutes a country, and what does mean for a person individually, and then how does that apply to us as people, okay, as individuals, and also how does it apply for as members of the church, okay. So that is basically what we are going to do. So Annika, finally, Annika, you signed up with your name. Woo! Awesome. Excellent. Okay, so it is really a lot of bureaucratic stuff, and I certainly can imagine that Sam and you have been in the middle of that quite a bit. So the Powells work for the Diplomatic Corps, okay, of the United States of America, and because of that, that is the reason why they have had to travel so many places. Okay, so you know a lot about living in different countries and what that means. Okay, so you have probably a lot more experience than myself on that. Okay, so that is very, very good. So one of the things that countries have is boundaries. Okay, and so here what I would like to do is watch this video. This is a video that shows basically how different civilizations emerge and go up and down, through the history of the world, literally, okay, and the rise and fall of these civilizations, all right? And so we are going to look at this video and see what you think about it, okay? We are going to discuss that, and that is going to kind of help us see how countries become, okay, how countries are formed. This is according to what is available in the historical record, okay? So it's not necessarily that, this shows all of humanity, okay? But it shows basically what we know, all right? So here we have world history, 3000 BC to 2013 AD, all right, in 4 minutes, okay? So that is the idea, all right? So we'll see the rise and fall of civilizations as they happen, okay? Here in the corner, we have the years, all right? So all that we know is that in the 3000 BC, we have records of the kingdom of Egypt and the kingdom of Ur, okay, the ancient Babylonian kingdom. It's not the more modern Babylonian kingdom. And then some civilizations emerging by the Indus River, in what is modern-day Pakistan and India, okay? So you can see the changes, rises, and falls of different empires here by the Euphrates and Tigris River. This is what is called the Mesopotamia region, the region between the two rivers. We also have civilizations emerging in China, okay? Egypt kind of is formed, consolidated, divided, augmented. You see here now how it is divided into two kingdoms and then joined again. You see here the Nubian civilization. And then Israel coming. We have here Babylon, the Assyrian Empire, okay, the Persian Empire, sorry. And then Alexander the Great's empire and the rise of Rome, all right? So as it moves, here is the Roman Empire at its largest stage, okay, in about 200, 300 AD now. And again, several other empires originating now in Europe. In Asia, we have also the Mongolian Empire gaining and moving, okay, as they move east, the Turks and everything come into being. This is the Ottoman Empire in this area, okay. And pretty soon we are going to start seeing the places in America of the Inca Empire, Aztec Empire. But why is it that Europe has so many empires and civilizations happening? Okay, so as you can see now, Spain begins to colonize America, and the Portuguese Empire also extends. Okay, so Russia becomes now the large country that is pretty much nowadays. In the 1700s, we have the Portuguese in Brazil, in Africa, Eastern and Western Africa, Ceylon, and also parts of Asia, okay, Indonesia and so on. They were part of the Portuguese Empire. We have now here the starting of the United States of America, and you can see how the expansion of America becomes. Notice that Alaska just changed from Russia to being part of the United States. This was in the late 1800s. Okay, and then you see here the breakup of the British Empire when they are giving basically all of the colonies, the Commonwealth of England, and this is basically how the world is nowadays. Wow, that was a trip. Okay, so okay. Oh no, cancel that. All right, so I needed to. All right. So there was one yellow oval that was kind of a perfectly oval in the area of Mongolia, and that was the representation of the rise of the Mongolian empire. And they didn't know the boundaries at that time, but they expanded quite rapidly. Okay. So, whew, it's interesting because I watched this video before. We have a link of the video here in the class. Okay, so you can watch it and stop it at different points in time. All right, so I have that here linked in the class, and you can watch it, of course, and stop at different points in time. It is interesting to see really the rise and fall of the different civilizations and how they happened. Okay, what comments? What happened? As you were watching this video, what were your feelings or thoughts about civilization? Mm-hmm. It is really something worth watching multiple times. I agree with you. Okay, so let's see if we can, if you want to have the webcam, you can put that, or microphone, or you can participate on the chat. Okay, whatever you think is best. Hi, Rodney. Hello. All right, so I have a question for you guys. So what happened in those areas of the world where there were no civilizations? Basically the map was showing, blank. Okay, what was going on? Were there no people, or what was the issue? Why were not any marks in those areas?
There was people, but they weren't a country. There were people there. There probably weren't a country.
Exactly. That is exactly right. Hi, Annika. Good to meet you. All right. So yes, so there were people, but they were not organized as a country. Elizabeth says there were no records. Okay, that is also exactly right. So if we don't have records of the civilization, we really don't know. Yeah. So, like for example, in America, we know that there were civilizations in America, at least small civilizations, the Nephites and the Lamanites, since at least the 600 BC. The only record that we have is really in the Book of Mormon, and we don't know exactly where that happened, where to place it. Okay, so if we don't have preserved records, okay, or either written records or monuments, buildings, anything that is historical, we really cannot determine what happened in the past. Okay, and so that again is part of the reason, why those civilizations were recognized, was because there were some records that were actually preserved for that. Okay, we have some history of that. Also, I don't know if you noticed that these different civilizations kind of expanded, grew, shrunk, changed shapes. Some of them, like Annika, you pointed out, they didn't have a defined shape. We knew that they were there, but we really didn't know where they were, okay? And so they just represented it kind of in a amorphous, oval or something like that. But other civilizations, they had pretty much very well-defined boundaries, okay? Why is that?
Probably people that lived outside those boundaries. They didn't want think of like the Roman Empire. They had like their boundaries, but there was barbarians still.
Mm-hmm.
So they had their well-defined boundaries to keep barbarians out and their people in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what basically determines, okay, up to here, it's us. Beyond this line, it's the barbarians or the other people. What defines that boundary? Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could have roads. You could have walls. You could have a place.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So
But I
many
guess it's
times.
kind of like capture the flag. You can just say in between these two trees is the line. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you have to have some sort of agreement, okay, of what determines constitutes your boundary. Okay. So sometimes boundaries are set by culture. Okay. So by language, the people that speak this language or follow this culture belong really to this group of people. Okay. Sometimes we have that the boundaries are actually set by specific lines. All right. Like, for example, the northern frontier of the Roman Empire. Okay. Yes, and that is very, very important also. You want to know, people wanted to know exactly where their lands were, okay? The natural landforms sometimes form boundaries like lakes, rivers, and so on. You are on this side of the river, we are on this side of the river. I was saying that the northern frontier of the Roman Empire was in the British Isles, okay? So in the island of Great Britain, and the Scots were the northern tribes, were in the north, and they many times tried to invade, the Roman side of the British Isle. And the British basically decided, those guys, they are not part of us. They are really, we don't want to have anything to do with them. And so they built literally a wall. That is the Hadrian Wall. Okay, and the Hadrian Wall, remnants of the Hadrian Wall still exist. All right, so that is a kind of an interesting thing that the webcam froze. That's why I stopped. Well, I stopped. You probably still see it, but I put it out from here. But so sometimes the boundaries have to be really enforced or determined by some sort of limit. Okay, but a country is really all the boundaries that are basically administered by some sort of administration, whether it's by language, culture, power, the armies control this area. There is some sort of boundaries. In Rome, the Roman Empire had forts along the boundaries. Okay, and so that is how they determined that was their boundary. And so when we watch that video looking at all the different boundaries of that civilization, you could see, you could see the limits of that. Okay, so again, we have, language, culture, or some sort of administrative power determining the boundaries of that country or empire, however you want to call it or express it. All right. One of the things that countries have is that they agree basically to abide by certain rules, laws, okay, and be administered by a specific type of government, of entity. And one of the fun things to do is to try to understand more of the culture of the different countries. Here I have, and it's also linked in the class, this is a playlist with all the different national anthems of European countries. Okay, they are really beautiful to listen, very, very different, each one of them. Okay, and they have the flag and pictures on that. So it's really very, very well done. Okay, so, all right. Yes, everything is quite different in every single country. You have lots of differences. And that is what we are going to try to study as we study political geography, is really try to appreciate and see the things that are different, the things that are common, okay, and what can we learn from them, all right? There's nothing like going there. Well, there is something that is kind of like going there, and that is to study geography. Okay, and so that is basically what we are doing here in the class. What I want you to do is to study Europe. Okay, that is a country very, very rich in culture and differences and so on, but also use that in order to gain a real understanding of the country. Okay, so it will be just as if you were there. Okay, that is really how I want you to get to know Europe and the country of your choosing. Okay, I also have linked to the lesson this website here that has a list of all the different countries in the world, actually. Okay, and you can click in each one of the countries and look at information about that country. Like I've mentioned before, I'm originally from Argentina. I was born there in Argentina. And so I was looking at here this website for Argentina and all the information that is in here. Okay. Now, I would like to point out a difference between knowing and knowing where to find stuff. Okay. Nowadays, okay, with the internet, we are getting very good. We are getting very good at knowing how to find stuff. All right, and we think that because we know that, we know. Okay, but it is very, very different. And so really, in order to know, you have to read, you have to actually be able to understand things. So Alec and Natalie are asking, why did you move to Utah? That is a great question. So what happened was that as I was finishing my mission, my brother, my older brother, had finished serving his mission also, but we both serve in Argentina in the Cordoba mission, which is, let's see, the northwest part of the country. It was kind of this other place. All right, let's see. So we were in the Cordoba mission that at that point involved all of, this area, okay, the northwest of Argentina. And as I was finishing my mission, my brother had moved to Utah to come to study at BYU. And he announced that he was going to get married. And so my father asked me, hey, we would like to go for the wedding there to Utah and see if we can move and stay in the United States. All right. And so I said, great, perfectly. And that is how we moved. So I came for my brother's wedding, and we were actually able to migrate and stay here. All right. And it has been a great blessing. So I literally consider myself to be an American, and I am a naturalized citizen of America. A lot of my cultural roots are in Argentina, but I am an American with a strong accent, let's say. All right. So, okay, so yeah, we have other places with lots of information nowadays. The important thing, what I want you to know, is to be able to use that information to gain knowledge. So, Rodney, you ask if I miss my homeland. There are some things that I miss. I miss my friends. I miss, part of my culture. Okay, and I miss the food. So luckily, my wife, even though she is fully American, she cooks a lot of Argentine style food. Okay, and so I don't miss that much. And I have to tell you, I really miss the Paraná River. This river here, okay, is this river is the boundary between Argentina, Paraguay, okay, and then some of the provinces in Argentina. And the Paraná River was my playground, so I really, really miss being there. We would go sailing, canoeing, all sorts of stuff there in the river. So those are some of the things that I miss. There are lots of things that I don't miss. Okay, the politics of Argentina, all the issues going in that country are crazy. Okay, so I much rather really be an American. Also, there are lots of opportunities here in America. All right, so America is really the greatest country in the world in my estimation. So let's see. Sam, I imagine that this is Sam now signing as Luis. You Pavos are really bent on messing me up. So Annika now signs as Annika and Sam signs as Luis. Okay, so I don't know what is going on, but so be it. Apparently, there is a tribe in Argentina that 100% all blood group, the zero blood group. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, there are a few indigenous tribes in Argentina still in the south, okay, in this area, in the province of Neuquén. We have some Mapuches Indians. In this part, okay, close to Paraguay and this area, there are some Guarani Indians. And in the north, okay, there's some, in this area, sorry, in the Chaco, there are some Toba Indians. And then here in the north, there are some Aymara Indians. So you have probably also Anika and some, you may have met some Aymara Indians in Bolivia. There are a few also there. Okay. The interesting thing is that the population of Argentina mostly comes from Europe. So they are basically descendants of European countries or mix. All my ancestors come from Italy and Spain. All right, so I was looking here at the information on Italy. Okay, and here I have, a political map of Italy. And it's important to know where are you from. Okay, so some de Bororo. Oh, I never heard of that tribe. Okay, well, need to find out more. Yes, it is kind of similar to America, that a lot of people basically have European descent, And in my case, all my ancestors came from Italy. One part of my family came here from the Napoli area, from the area of the city of Naples, close to the Mount Vesuvius, a huge volcano. Another part, okay, of my family came from this area of Albicense, close to Turin, the city of Torino, all right? Italy is a country with a vast diversity of culture and lots of differences, really. And other part of my ancestry came from Spain, all right? So the other part, some from the area of Castile, okay, Castilla, okay, which is this area, and I think that some are from the northern part here of Bilbao, okay, of this area of Spain. I need to do more family history to do that. So during this year, as we studied geography of Europe, especially, I would like you to really know where your ancestors come from. Okay? So, in fact, one of the assignments that I have for the class, for today's class, is to explore your genealogical tree and find out where your ancestors come from. Not only the country, but also what region and towns do they come from, and find those out. Where are those? All right. So you try to actually look at really at the geography of the place and everything, and when did they live there? How is it that they came? Okay, here. So let's see. What do we have? So that is really where individually we really have our culture is affected a lot really by where we are from, what country we came from, and which country our ancestors are from. Okay, so that is a reason why we want to know and learn as much as we can about those. Okay. So Alec and Natalie say that they trace back to England, okay, and on the Dutch side back to Sweden. So I want you to find out more by looking at your genealogy, which part of England, which areas of England, which towns, and which part of Sweden are they your ancestry from. Okay, so you know how I'm trying to help you see, to dig a little deeper in order to understand these things. Yeah, so help them out. Your mom loves to do family history, so this is a great time, and there's lots of opportunities for you, you know, to get involved also in doing family history. Okay, now I have to tell you something. You know, you asked me about why we moved to Utah. And I have to tell you, when I came here to Utah, I already knew English. Okay. I spoke still with an accent, of course, even a stronger accent that I have now. All right, if you can imagine that. Okay. So.
Do other countries, when we go over and we speak their language, do they notice our American accent as we speak like Spanish?
Oh yes.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Hablo español.
Most people are very kind. Okay, including most Americans are always very kind. The only people that make fun of my accent are my kids. Okay, my sons and my daughters are the only ones that make fun of my accent. Also, the other people that make fun of my accent, okay, are my friends in Argentina. Because now when I go back to Argentina, they tell me that I have an American accent in Spanish. Okay.
It's true.
So I lived here 26 years, and so now my Argentine is also imbued with a lot of American modisms and everything. So I don't speak anything well. Okay, so I'm just a disaster. Okay, so maybe Annika and Sam can really relate to that, can't you? Yeah. So most people are very nice, and you know they just accept that, okay, you know, you are going to to speak with an accent and everything, but the main idea is to try to communicate. Okay. So, anyways, what I was mentioning is that when I came here, even though I already knew the language, the cultural shock was quite strong. Okay. It was really, I wasn't prepared for that, all right, because I thought, oh, not big deal, I'm just moving, I already know how to speak and everything, it's okay. But no, the cultural shock is real, all right. Yes, it really hits you. It really hits you. Here we have Spencer saying that he is a direct descendant of Bloody Mary, of Queen Mary. Wow, that's cool. And Elizabeth, Irish, Danish, and English. All right. So that
My
is,
mom just said as they went to England for a trip that English people were like, oh, your accent is so. What'd they say, Mom?
Oh, I love your accent.
Oh, I love your accent. That's what they said. They're like, oh.
Yeah, that's right. That is also what they say about me. They say, "Oh no, I love your accent. You're just fine." Yeah. It's horrible. So yeah, that's right. That is how I feel. Elizabeth says also that she is a direct descendant of Edward Partridge. Okay, so
That is
the
the
first.
church's first bishop.
That's right, the first
Yeah.
bishop of the church. Excellent.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Okay. Now, the interesting thing was that when I came here, I had really a very big cultural shock, except for the things related to the church. Okay.
That's never that doesn't change.
Exactly.
The only thing that changes is the language, and that's it.
Yes. Uh-huh. But it's really interesting that when you go to church in a different country, you really feel right at home. Okay. That is a very, very cool thing, isn't it, Annika?
Yeah, actually, the biggest culture shock that we had was when we were in Ukraine first, and well, not first, but last, and no, if you walked down the street with a smile on your face, people would think you were weird because you were happy. And we come to Bolivia, and everybody's smiling, everybody wants to talk to you. It's the weirdest thing, but that was probably the worst I've ever had it.
That's right. Yeah. But how was your experience going to church in different countries?
It depends on how long the church has been in the country. I mean, all the songs are the same, all the principles are obviously the same, but like the way they run things is different. In some places, the church has only been here for 50 years. Our ward is really new, and so like a lot of the youth activities and stuff, I've got to tell them, we can't do that because we just can't. But yeah, anyway,
What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, and the hymn books are different sizes. In English, there's 300 some hymns.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah, some. And here there's, to put it in perspective, the Christmas hymns are in the 200s in the English one. In Spanish, they're in the hundreds.
That's right. Yes.
In Ukrainian and Russian, they're I don't know, the 50s or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So that the problem is, the problem is that many times we cannot translate, the hymns because of copyright issues. All right. And
don't they try to still make the hymns rhyme like they do in...
Yes, and it's not easy. Very, very difficult. Very difficult.
They tried to do it in Russian, and I tell you, that was probably the funniest thing I'd ever sung, because either the words didn't make sense or the rhyming was in a really wrong beat tune.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, so the church has a very, very difficult problem because they want to keep the hymns the same, they have to deal with all the copyright issues. Then you have to.
What is the copyright issue? What's the problem?
Oh, for example, there are some hymns that the church doesn't own the rights to make copies or publish or translate that song or music into a different language. Okay, so one great example of that is Because I Have Been Given Much. Okay, if you look in our hymn book, it says that the copyright owner, and it tells you the name and everything. We cannot translate that hymn. We cannot publish it anywhere else. In fact, if you go to the LDS.org to the hymns, that hymn is not on the website, even because we don't have the copyright for that.
So how did we get it in the book? How did we get it in the book?
The church was able to pay and secure permission to get it into the English hymn book from the copyright owners.
That's the proof right there.
Yeah. So that is one aspect. The other issue is the issue of translation, because the church wants to not only make the translation so the hymns rhyme, but also maintain the same message of the hymn. So it's not like changing "I'm a child of God," okay, into some other thing that rhymes, but it's a different message.
Different wording.
Yeah. And so it's very, very, very difficult to do that. So, but those are all some of the problems that you get really with different languages and different things. Okay. So the thing is really that even though there are some differences on experience, on how we run the programs of the church and hymns and things like that, the meetings are pretty much the same. Okay, the way that the church is run is also the same. So when I came here to the States, for me it was really like coming home. I remember my first time going to Temple Square and going to the tabernacle. Okay, it was the first time that I had been in the tabernacle that I have to tell you, I felt that I was right at home, okay, in that experience. And that is a great thing about being members of the church. There's one scripture that I think is really, really cool, and Paul is writing to the Ephesians. Okay, so these are the members of the church church in Ephesus, which is in what is now Turkey. Okay. Yes, the conference center was not yet built. I came here to the States in '89, so I went to the first conference at the conference center in 2001 with my son. I remember that. But see this scripture here. Okay, now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of God, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. Okay, so Paul is saying to the members of the church, really across all places and all times, that when we become members of the Church of Christ, we are no longer strangers or foreigners. We are all fellow citizens with the saints. That is a really great thing to feel. And we belong really to the same household of God. Okay, we are built upon the same foundation. We share the same apostles, the same prophets, and Jesus Christ is really the cornerstone, the center of all of our lives. So that is very, very much the same for us everywhere. Okay. So, um, Spencer, you ask here why. Okay. Hmm? Let's see. Didn't mean to. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. So that is actually a very important thing, that even though we are citizens of our own country, most of us here in the class are from the United States of America, but we also have a citizenship, if you wish, in the household of God. Okay, so that is really um, who we belong as members of the church. Okay, so I have also in the lesson today another assignment that you could choose to do is to find out the story of how your family came to your country. Okay, how did your family came to your country? For example, I told you the story about how I and my family, we came from Argentina to America. But also my family migrated from Spain and Italy to Argentina. All right. And I don't know all the stories of all the different parts of the family, but one of them I know very well is on my father's side. Okay, so the Riboldi side, no, the Montagna side of my family. So this would be my father's mother side. They came, okay, my great great grandfather was Pablo Montagna, and he was a Catholic seminarist in Spain. So he came from a poor family, and the second son always went to be a priest for the Catholic Church. And so he wasn't yet a priest. He was studying to become a priest, and he fell in love with the daughter of one of the nobles of that town where they lived. And of course, she couldn't marry him because he was poor, and so they elope and they move all the way from Spain to Argentina. Okay, so that is kind of how my family came here. All right. Which country would you do? You choose. Okay, I would probably try to do as many as possible, to understand more of your family history. Okay. Also, I would like you to write the story of how your family joined the church. Okay. What is the story behind your family joining the church? So, for example, Elizabeth says that she is a direct descendant of Edward Partridge. How did Edward Partridge get baptized? Do you know that story? And how about other sides of your family? How other parts of the family um, were baptized? Yeah, it is really a romantic story, frankly. Okay, the Montagna side of how my family came to Argentina. And my sister actually wrote a book, okay, and based part of the book on that story. Okay, let me see. Oh, the name of the book is Veiled. Okay, very, very good book. She actually wrote a series of 3 books. All right. Yeah. Oh, elope. Oh, okay. I think that is how you spell it. Elope. I don't know. It's your language, guys. So you decide. Okay. All right. I would like now to use a little bit of the time that we have left, okay, today to review a couple of the assignments. I haven't been able to look at all the assignments, but I've looked at a couple of them, all right, and I would like to share with them some of them. And this was, I think, oh, Who was it that submitted this? Okay, whenever you submit your assignment, if you are putting into a document or something, put your name in the document, please. Okay, so I know. Now I lost track of which one is this. I want to say that this was Nicola. Okay. I don't remember. So if you recognize this assignment, say so. Okay, so it's not Nicola. Okay, so but this was the one about measuring latitude and longitude. Okay, and she said that it was super fun, and her answers were that she got was 112 and a half longitude, and then 37 and a half latitude. And then when she went to check it out, okay, 108 and 37.3. Wow. So the latitude was almost exact. Okay, very, very good. And the longitude just a little bit off, but longitude is a lot more difficult to measure. So it's actually, this is very, very close, a very good measurement really on the longitude. Okay, I don't know if you have done this assignment, all right, but we'll go back and I'll try to show you more about how to do that assignment and get the measurement for that. But this was very, very good. I was super happy to see that she was able to do this. This was the assignment, I believe, in lesson 4. Okay, let me see if I can check that really fast. Okay, oh no, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, let's see if we can go back to where. Okay, I don't know if this is the speed grader. No, not this. I'm still trying to find my way around here. Okay. All right, Canvas. Well, I'll let you know which one it is. But let me review a couple of other things. Okay. Yoda. Yes, very, very much ninja skills. So, okay. Elope. So we ended up with that. I have another here. This is from Emmeline. I hope that I'm saying your name correctly. But this was the hydrological individual country report. Very, very good report. And I would like to show some of that to you. Okay. So Italy. So we have there, a good map of Italy. Some information about the coastline of Italy, and what a beautiful place. Okay, so this is very typical along the coast of Italy to have cities that are kind of built right on the mountains by the shore. We have here some of the landmarks of Italy, mountains. Okay, I don't know, I couldn't see which one was this volcano. There are several volcanoes in lesson 3. Okay, great. Lesson 3 is to find the latitude and longitude of your location. Yes, that is the one. Okay. Yeah. Also, Como Grande here. Okay. So beautiful. Some of the volcanoes are active still in Italy. Okay, the lakes, Lake Como, okay, Lake Garda, the Garda, and then the River Po. Information here about River Po, that is the largest river in Italy. Okay, so what I want you to make sure when you do your report is that this information that most likely you are copying and pasting from another place. Oh, so that was Vesuvius. Okay, so excellent. Let me go back. So this is Mount Vesuvius. That is the volcano right there by Napoli. Yeah. So whenever you copy and paste information, I want you to make sure that you understand the information, that you will actually learn it and internalize it. This I really, really like. Emmeline put which is the northernmost point, okay, the name, a picture even of the place, all right, so Twin Heads West, so I imagine that these probably are the Twin Heads, and the north latitude, and then the exact coordinates of the place. But here, of course, because it's the northernmost point, we want to see the point further north, the southernmost point, okay, and again here the latitude, so it goes from 47th north to 35 north to in the south. And then we have the westernmost point, okay, so again another mountain peak at 6 degrees east, and the easternmost point, okay, Cape Palacia, okay, Capo Diorato, all right, longitude 18 east. Very, very good. The only thing that I would suggest, okay, would be to include actually a map of all of Italy, kind of identifying where those points are. So, you know, here we would have, okay, this one would be that one, then here is the easternmost point, the southernmost point there, and the northernmost point here. Okay, does that make sense? Emmeline and everybody else. So I'm just giving feedback. And then a page here showing the resources. Very, very good. I really enjoyed this assignment. Very well done. I have another one to share. Okay, this one is of Denmark, and I think that Nathan, yes, Nathan submitted this one. Okay, and we have a map of Denmark, okay, copied, and then information, all the mathematical, geographical information of Denmark. Again, I want you to you know, you probably are copying and pasting most of this information. The important thing is that you understand it, all right?
I'll be able to go to Denmark and actually measure the miles.
Well, that would be great. That would be awesome. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of Yoda today here going on. That is awesome. So this was actually very good. This was very interesting to read, all right, an analysis really of all the climate of Denmark and the atmospheric conditions of Denmark, okay? So this basically was not only the mathematical report, but also the atmospheric report of Denmark. Very, very well done, okay? One suggestion that I have for everyone would be, remember that I mentioned that I want you to do maps written by hand, okay? So what I would love is if you can get maps of, hi Sam and Annika here, oh wow, this is awesome. Okay, so if you can get a blank map of the country and a blank map of Europe, and then hand write, okay, by hand, I would love you to do it with pencils, write on your own, you know, mark the rivers and the different things, okay, all the things by hand. Why do I want you to do it by hand? Is because that way you actually learn more than if you just copy and paste something. Okay. Map or country. No, not that. Something really good. Well done. Okay. So just find an empty map, you know, with the boundaries of the country, or an empty map of Europe, and then in there write all the things down, okay? Then you can scan
you
it
want
and post that. Mm-hmm. Yes, Anika?
you, you want one of like the different, I don't know, the
Yes,
lithosphere, like the water, yeah.
that's right.
moving.
Because
Little,
you are not going to be able to put everything in one map. Okay?
right.
All right, so
Yeah.
do one map, let's say, to do the mathematical geography, the boundaries, northernmost point, southernmost point, east, west, all that, okay? Altitude, the highest place, the lowest elevation. You do one map for that, okay? Then you do another map for the atmospheric conditions, winds, currents, things like that, the climate, all right? Another map for the hydrological report where you mark rivers, bays, peninsulas, islands, all of that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Another map for the lithosphere, meaning marking all the mountains, mountain ranges, okay, elevation changes, and so on. And another map for the biosphere, showing the different vegetation, different animals, where different animals live, ranges, and things like that. Okay?
Okay. And when are we supposed to have them done?
Do it.
Tomorrow. Do it tomorrow.
No, so I am not too hung up on the deadlines. I'm more interested on the quality and in your learning. Okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though to get credit, we're technically supposed to have everything done by January 2nd.
Technically, okay, but I don't go by technicalities. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So I want you to. So the last deadline is really the end of the year. Okay? But I don't want everybody to scramble and do everything at the end of the year. All right? Because then it's a mess for you. So just get things done, submit them, and then I'll as I find time and energy, I'll grade them. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So the emphasis here is on quality. Okay. You say, Rodney, I already did it, even though it was bad. Okay. Yeah, it was really bad. That thing that you showed me, that was really bad. Okay. So,
I said I will really try next time. And she's like, do or do not. I'm like, but I already did it. I will do it.
yeah. So this is your chance of learn geography of Europe. Okay, because most likely you are not going. In next years we are going to do another continent and so on. So take advantage of this opportunity to do it great. Okay. So Emily is doing awesome. I love that presentation of Italy, and the one on Denmark was also very, very good by Nathan. Okay, so we expect great things from you guys. Okay,
Thank you. I actually have a question.
go ahead.
So for the weather map, how do you want us to list the temperatures?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want it to write it down and separate it by boundaries, or do you want us to do designs? I don't know.
That is a great question. So weather maps are actually usually done by isothermic lines. Okay, so if you have a really detailed map of the weather, let's say that you have here Italy, you would have lines that show what is the temperature, equal temperature around an area. Okay, and if you want to do it a really good job at that, you would do one map for winter and another map for summer. In most places, the temperature difference is big enough that it makes a difference in the weather. Okay, and so you would have those lines, and then you would be able to indicate that. Okay, So, for example, in Italy, in the mountains where you have alpine weather, the temperature is quite different than in the shore, okay, or in the Pyrenees, in the mountains in the middle of the country. Also, I would like you to indicate some of the prevailing winds. Those usually are indicating with arrows of where the winds come from and so on. Okay. Does that make sense, Emmeline?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Excellent. Good deal. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? You can write them in the chat or come on the mic. Okay. Well, so let's finish with a prayer. Okay. Annika, would you like to offer a prayer for us? Since you have a mic now. Okay. Okay. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this day and for the opportunity we have to learn about geography and the land that Thou hast created for us to live on. And we're grateful that we have the opportunity to connect over long distances and have the opportunity to have Thy Spirit and learn the things that Thou would have us to learn. And we love you and say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, Elizabeth, control your dark side. Okay, I need to do that too. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good to see you guys. Bye, Sam.